What's going on there, everyone? Well, the Democrats are in a tizzy over this one. Israel blocks Omar Tlaib from entering country amid pressure from Trump. Kind of makes me chuckle a little bit. Israeli officials have decided to block U.S. Representatives Rashida Tlaib and Ilham Omar from entering the country as part of a planned visit and reversal that comes amid pressure from President Trump and concerns about their support for Israel boycotts. The country's deputy foreign minister, I don't know how to say that name, I'm not going to, announced the decision Thursday despite prior assurances that the Congresswoman would be allowed in. Well, Israel actually has this very obscure law that not a lot of people seem to be aware of, where people that engage in movements or anything like the BDS movement, which Rashida Tlaib and Omar are very for and very vocal about, they're allowed to deny people that support stuff like that access to the country. Let's see how much that gets talked about. Israel has decided we won't enable the members of Congress to enter the country. Hotovely, I'm going to go with that, told public broadcaster KAN. We won't allow those who deny our right to exist in this world to enter Israel. In principle, this is a very justified decision. I agree. The decision confirms earlier reports that Israeli officials were leaning in that direction. Earlier Thursday, President Trump even publicly prodded Israel to stand firm in blocking Omar and Tlaib. If only we could do the same. It would show great weakness if Israel allowed Representative Omar and Representative Tlaib to visit, Trump tweeted Thursday morning. They hate Israel and all Jewish people, and there is nothing that can be said or done to change their minds. Minnesota and Michigan have a hard time putting them back in office. They are a disgrace. They truly are a disgrace. And to me, the fact that people on the Democratic side mainly are so outraged over this to me is shocking. It's like, what did you think? I mean, for the better part of their whole careers, they've been attacking Israel over anything and everything. So, good on Israel for blocking them. They shouldn't be allowed there. They should barely be allowed here, as much as they talk about the United States as well. These people are very anti-American, and to be in our government is frightening. Banning Congresswoman Omar and Tlaib from entering Israel and Palestine is a sign of enormous disrespect to these elected leaders, to the United States Congress, and to the principles of democracy. Presidential hope for Senator Bernie Sanders said in a tweet, "The Israeli government should reverse this decision and allow them in." Who are you, Bernie Sanders? Who are you? Last time I checked, you're an American. So what right do you have to say to Israel that they should or shouldn't allow someone in? Last time I checked, you don't have that right. You're not an Israeli citizen or someone in their government. And most of your ideas suck. Another presidential candidate, Senator Elizabeth Warren, weighed in before the decision was formally announced. Israel doesn't advance its case as a tolerant democracy or unwavering U.S. ally by barring elected members of Congress from visiting because of their political views. I don't think that these are necessarily just political views. I think these are personal feelings of hatred towards Israel and the Jewish people. You could see it when they talk. They are filled with anger and vitriol when they speak of Israel. Democrats. Israeli media reported earlier on discussions of barring the freshman congresswoman due to their support for the anti-Israel boycott, divest, and sanctions movement, BDS. Reports said Israeli Interior Minister Ari Deri, sorry if I got that name wrong, already made the decision to block them, though other parties still had to weigh in. Israeli law says those supporting boycotts of the country may be denied entry. Well, there you go. They're following their law. Not that big of a deal. Waivers can be granted for diplomatic figures. However, Haaretz reported, I probably got that name wrong too. And in July, Israel's U.S. ambassador said the country would not bar U.S. lawmakers out of respect for Congress and Israel's long-time alliance with the U.S. Trump expressed frustration about the decision last week, the Washington Post reported. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, though, also faced pressure from the Democratic leaders and some U.S.-based Israel advocacy groups that were advising against barring the Congresswoman, the Post reported. The Jerusalem Post reported Thursday that Netanyahu met with Deri, whatever, the Foreign Minister Israel Katz, Public Security Minister Gilad Erdan, National Security Council leader. I think they're just wanting me to look like a fool by putting all these crazy names out there. You can see they discussed it with a lot of members of their government. I'll paraphrase. The possibility exists that Israel will not allow the visit in its current form, the official said at the time, adding, professional and legal teams from the government and minister were continuing to study the materials. The officials reportedly noted that the decision was ultimately up to the interior minister. On Thursday, Israeli Channel 13's BARRED reported that, according to officials, Netanyahu had earlier been considering allowing Tlaib and Omar to enter Israel, but only to travel within the territories controlled by the Palestinian Authority. Another official reportedly said that Tlaib would be allowed to visit family in the West Bank if she filed a humanitarian request. Tlaib and Omar had been scheduled to arrive on Israel on Friday. Ravid reported for Axios that Israel was worried that the Congresswoman would visit the Temple Mount, the holiest site for Jews and the third holiest for Muslims, along with Palestinian Authority officials. I don't see nothing wrong with this. I see absolutely nothing wrong with this. And good on Israel. Good on Israel for standing up for themselves. You know, these women have been bashing Israel since the moment they got in the public eye. The Democratic Party has, for the most part, failed to condemn any of their rhetoric towards Israel, with the exception of a few, I will say that, you know. And, yeah, this is Israel's right, and it's their law to not let these people in, because they do support the BDS movement, which, as stated, under Israeli law, these people can be barred from entering the country because of that. No harm, no foul. I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to do. If only these women would. Like, actually act like members of a government, keep your opinions to yourself, speak on facts and stuff like that, and they don't like to do that. They actually said that they compared Israel to the Nazi Party, which, beyond being offensive, is just ludicrous. I mean, it's absolutely out of control. But what can you do, man? This is who the people voted for. I'm sure a lot of people are regretting voting for these people. It seems like a lot of people are regretting voting for these very progressive Justice Democrats. Period. When you look at the poll numbers, they're all polling very, very low in their districts. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I stand with Israel on this. I don't stand with them on everything. I'm not some Zionist or nothing like that. But I do stand on them, or stand up with them and all that when it makes sense. And this, to me, makes complete and utter sense. I'd love to hear your comments on this one, because I know there's a lot of you who are going to disagree with me. For some reason, talking about Israel can bring out the best and the worst of some people. But we will see what happens from here. That's all we can do, really. And As always, like, share, subscribe. I will catch you on the flip side.